In my previous video, I explored the old area of Kobe and shared my very homey and unique Japanese experience. In this video, I'll be exploring another area of Kobe known to be #1 sake production areas in Japan. Let's explore. So we are now heading to Sumiyoshi Station by using this Hanshin Railroad, Hanshin Dentetsu. And then, so as I've said yesterday, so Sanomiya Station is connected to 5 major railroads, and then the major ones are called Hanshin Dentetsu, the one I'm using right now, and then also Hankyu Dentetsu. That sounds really close, and actually they are now in the same company group called Hanshin Hankyu Holdings. And then both lines are actually covering this Kobe area and Hyogo area and also Osaka area. And then they also, like the other major railroad companies, they also run like a real estate businesses. For example, they have Hanshin Hyakkaten and Hankyu Hyakkaten. Those are like a major shopping malls that is, of course, connected to their lines and their railroad lines and to their railroads. And then because railroad businesses, they bring people, and then it naturally creates a place where people are gathering. So that's how they are running the media businesses, and then also they are providing the contents business as well. For example, they also have subsidiaries. For the Hanshin Dentetsu, they have Hanshin Tigers, which is one of the major popular, like a locally loved professional baseball team. And then also for the Hankyu, they have their subsidiaries include Toho, which is actually the biggest movie company in Japan that has been creating many films and then distribute, and they also run the theater businesses, as well as running a Takarazuka Kagekidan, which is one of the most popular musical theater, and that is famous for its female actors, very beautiful female actors, and then they are also known for its very severe training to be able to perform very well. So with very flashy clothing outfit for the performance. So that's how they have been running an entertainment business as well. And then these years actually, so like a Japanese entertainment field has been gaining many attention from different fields as they are making a lot of profits. So yeah, that's something interesting. And then Martin told me that so in this Kansai area, that these private railroad companies are very strong compared to JR. The JR is like that's the railroad you see everywhere in Japan. But as I was living in Tokyo, and also I'm from the Tokai area near Tokyo relatively, and then JR is like the most dominant one. But here he told me that JR's how do you say 存在感が薄い compared to like those main private railroad companies. Their presence are a little bit kind of weak. I thought it's very interesting. We are now in Sumiyoshi Station to explore the Sakagura. So today we will be this Nada area in Kobe City. Nada is known to be a place for sake breweries, and then so this Nada area having many sake breweries. We can visit all of them. So we are now, where is it?
Sumiyoshi Station.
Sumiyoshi Station. So we will be visiting this Hakutsuru, one of the major sake brands. So yeah, let's explore. In the station, you already see this, Nada Gogo, Nada Gogo, which and then it talks about the Hakutsuru Sake Museum that we were heading to, we were visiting. Walking down next to this factory, we kind of smell the flavor of rice with a little bit of sweetness. So yeah, very curious how it's like inside. Found it, that one. That is the Hakutsuru logo and the brand name. Means white clay. Okay, we just arrived, so let's get in. Hakutsuru Shuzo Shiryokan. It's a Hakutsuru Brewery Museum. Okay. Let's go. It's free to enter, and then starting at 9:30 to 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. It's called shishiodoshi. As you could see the sound, that is designed to threaten animals, and it's written as deer threatening. So shishiodoshi, that's what it means. Yeah, interesting. Like, okay, here's the entrance. You see all these barrels of sake, which is the brand name of Hakutsuru, white clay. Oh wow, that's a huge one. Okay, let's get in. Here you can get like a guides in different languages: English, Thai, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese. Yeah, huge barrel where they put sake in it, and then this is like a 33 so it's like 一升瓶ってどんぐらいだろうね。一升瓶 should be like 2 liters or something. Then you can contain 3,300 bottles in this taru. Yeah, so that is like for storing sake. Yeah. So we've just started exploring this brewery and then got to know about here why it's so popular as a sake brewery. So this Nada area, it's called Nada no Gogo. Nada Gogo. Gogo means like an area from Kobe city's Nada area and to the Nishinomiya city. And then this is like area of about 12 kilometers. And in this only area, including Saigo, Mikage-go, Uozaki-go, Nishinomiya-go, Imazu-go. So those we call it Nada-go-go. And then in this area, it's actually producing 1/4 of Nihon shu in Japan, produced in Japan. So that's why the #1 sake brewery area in Japan. So the reason why this sake and nada is so popular for making sake is that to make good sake you need 3 things. First, rice, and the second, water, and then third is technique, like a skill. So one is rice, as I've said. So this Hyogo area, like a northern part of this Kobe city, has a mountain called Rokko Mountain. That's where rice called Yamada Nishiki were produced richly, and then this rice Yamada Nishiki is known for its like a good absorption of water, since it has low protein and then low fat. That make it easier to absorb the water, and that is also known for its smooth taste, smooth flavor, and good aroma. So that is also good for sake, and that's the first condition for rice. And then the second one is, as I've said, water. And then the water is also rich because of this mountain. The water from this Rokko mountain is rich in mineral, and the mineral can be a source of the yeast and koji malt. That is necessary for fermentation to make sake. So that's why this water is really good. And then also for the skill, so this area, because of these 2 conditions, this area became a place to create sake, which also encouraged people to have better skills for creating sake. And then those people are called toji, and then the toji in this another area called tamba toji, and then which is one of the 3 main toji. The other ones are like a Nambu toji, that is a toji in Iwate prefecture, and then the last one is called Echigo toji, which is in Niigata prefecture. So and then the toji in this another area, since they were really good at producing sake, they actually share the skill to the like a toji in other areas of Japan. So that's why they are really respected and recognized as one of the best toji people. Yeah. And then also you can see the process of making sake. So here, this one is like a steaming. So you see like these young people are half naked, and then people are just steaming the rice with hot water, and then so it's the process. So you first wash the rice, and then here steaming, in this huge barrel. It's a barrel, and then after that you cool down the rice, then add the koji kind of like bacteria, kojikin prefecture, yeah, koji malt, and they add the koji malt to increase the yeast. Then adding the water as well. Then mix the rice and then yeast and then water together to ferment. Then, after that, you squeeze it and then also warming it up to sucking to kill the bacteria, and then store it, and then start selling it as products. Yeah, that's how it's created. Oh, so you can see like all these many tools. Here it's saying like washing rice, and then that's a rice type of rices used for making sake. Hakutsuru nishiki. So, as I've said, Yamada nishiki is the most main rice. This one, and then actually this Hakutsuru company, the brand, has made their own rice, Hakutsuru nishiki. So the taste of sake is different depending on how much the rice is polished. So it's talking about the polishing ratio of the rice. So if the polishing ratio is higher, you have less amount of rice left, and then that is the food's taste is clearer. It's said to be like a dry, karakchi, yeah. Here's a production mapping area where you can watch the movie, and then this Hakutsuru. Oh. The brand has been running for 270 years, just only making sake. Yeah, Hakutsuru Maru is the one that we hear the most. 天空の絵なんてあるのすごいね。Wow, they have like a Ginza Sky. Oh, they have created Hakutsuru America. Wow. So after washing, steaming, and cooling down the rice, the sake brewing process goes through the three major important stages. These are called koji making, moto making, and moromi making, with each process playing a crucial role in determining the taste and the quality of the sake. The first stage, koji making, involves sprinkling koji malt onto steamed rice to create rice koji. The koji malt produces enzymes that convert rice starch into sugar, which plays an important role in the later fermentation process. This is carefully manufactured over approximately 2 days while strictly controlling temperature and humidity. Next comes the moto making process. Moto is a crucial component that serves as the starting point for sake fermentation. Using steamed rice koji, water, and yeast, a small-scale fermentation is carried out. During this process, yeast multiplies, creating a pure and strong yeast culture. Moto making takes about 2 weeks, and the temperature control during this period is particularly important. The final moromi making is the main fermentation process. Additional steamed rice koji, and water are gradually added to the moto. In this process, the conversion of starch to sugar by koji enzymes occurs simultaneously with the fermentation of sugar into alcohol by yeast. This is called multiple parallel fermentation, and is a method unique to sake. Moromi fermentation typically continues for 3 to 4 weeks, during which careful management of temperature and stirring is necessary. After these processes are complete, the moromi is pressed to separate the sake from the yeast, and then undergoes pasteurization and aging processes before becoming the final product. The meticulous management of every detail from temperature control and the timing to ingredient ratios throughout each process is key to producing high-quality sake. Haruzume. Actually, the song you hear right now, this song, this is a song that the sake breweries, people in sake breweries were singing when they were making the sake. So here also talks about the cultural heritage, like the cultural importance of this sake brewery here. And then one thing I missed to mention is that so one of the reasons why this place is so good at sake production is that the lokoroshi. Lokoroshi is a wind that is blown from the local mountains, and then it's actually the the wind that you get in here in the winter, and then that is was also helping to cool down the inside the kura to produce sake, and then also that was helping to prevent from the bacteria to grow. So that was really good. And then also here it was also interesting. So in this sake gogo, like during the Edo period, this sake here was so popular, and then since it was, facing the port and then sea, it was very good for trading. And then since the Edo was at the time the capital in Japan, like people there were really like to try new things, and then they loved the sake from here. So so many sake were provided from here to Edo area. Then that was making this sake to be more popular, and then that is also making the wealth for the people sake breweries in this Nada area. And then the three of those popular Nada breweries actually the ones they are like Kikumasamune, and then also Kikumasamune Kano family and Hakutsuru Kano family and Sakura Masamune, これなんて読むんだろう、大和友かな、Sakura Masamune family. Those are the ones actually created Nada Junior High School and the KOBE High School. Those are the schools that is really famous for getting into prestigious universities in Japan. So, yeah, it's the like Shouhyo no Hensen, the change of the logo brand mark according to the time. I think they started off from that one, and then going like this, I guess. Oh, here's also like a brand mark of Hakutsuru. It's talking about the origin of sake in Japan and also the history of this Hakutsuru brand. And then it's interesting that it's talking about origin of sake, and then it dates back to Nara period, Nara Jidai, like a 7th, 8th century, when people were actually biting the rice, and then that is making like the budoto. It's like a type of sugar. Then that is actually merged with the yeast that is produced in the air, and then it gets fermented. It's like a naturally fermented. That is called like a kuchikamizake. It's something that you can see in the like a description in the movie called Your Name, Kimi no Nawa, directed by Shinkai Makoto, the one that I really loved. That's how the like a first type of sake, Nihonshu, was made. So, and then like the sake was actually used in the rituals, temples and the shrines, and also chote ministry at the time. And then it was also produced in like specific places. And later on, like the people at the time having the power in the government and the temple shrines were actually giving a right to create sake to the sake breweries. Then it was more and more then specialized in the production only by the sake breweries. So this is the history. So that was made in 1757. So the first founder of this Hakutsuru brand was doing like a timber business, but 1743, the second generation, he started like a sake brewery business. Then which was in 1743. Yeah, and it was really interesting that in 1900 they were also exhibiting sake in the Paris World Exhibition. Yeah, and in 1934 they have opened the Sake Hakutsuru Museum, which is collecting like national treasures. Yeah, very important treasures in Japan. So yeah, that's really interesting how it's contributing to the like a local culture and the local education as well. This is where they are crafting. This is like a Hakutsuru sake craft. Taste of strawberry. Wow, this one I can maybe taste. I don't know. Oh, here is the area you can buy actual Hakutsuru brand sake. It's a Yamada Ho. This one is like 6,050 yen. It's like 45 bucks. Yeah. And then here's also very interesting. This one is like a Goshu Incho. We call like shrine stamp. We call it Goshuin. And then since we say sake, we can read it Chinese character as shu, same pronunciation. So we can sake can also be read as shu. So that's why it's say Goshuin Cho. This is where you can get the stamp by going to like the sake breweries. 28 sake breweries in this Nada area. And then this is where you can do like a kikizake. So it's like it's like tasting actually like a sake. We can say kikizake. So this is where you can actually taste the sake, and then it's actually talking about how you can actually do it. So it's like the first, there are 3 steps. The first, you pour the sake, like the 80% of the cup, and then you see the bottom part, and then look at the like the color of the like how transparent that sake is. And then the second is to just savor the aroma of the sake, and then just to sip a little bit, and then try to like roll the sake on your tongue, and then to taste. And then the third is to drink the sake, then also try to like taste the flavor in your mouth. That's how it is. Okay. This is the cup. Then you pour that. Just a little is fine. Right. I'm not that good at drinking that much, so I just got a little bit. いきます。そうです。
It will be dry.
Right. The one we just tasted is called kurazake. It's like fully using Yamada Nishiki, 100%. And it's made from rice, Yamada Nishiki in Hyogo, and the rich and crispy taste. Ah, crispy, 切れのあるって言うんだ。So the second one,
Clear taste.
we're gonna try is Shinmai Shinshu. ちょっとじゃあやってみましょう。色味がこっちは透明かもね。
Clear.
Oh, this is clear. 濁り柚子酒。It's using 柚子。いただきます。Oh, it's yuzu. Really fruity. Yeah, I like it. Just finished exploring this Hakutsuru Sake Brewery Museum, and it was really good actually. You could see like the whole process of making the sake, and then also getting to know about the culture, like how this area prospered as a sake brewery area, and which is also now influencing in terms of like having like a museum, also like schools for education. So that's really interesting. So Marty told me about local information. So on the map, you see like the lines, 4 railroads, that is running but the horizontally. And then from the top, you see like a JR Shinkansen line. And then the next is the Hankyu line and then JR line. And then the bottom one is the Hanshin line. Then the one we are seeing right now is called Hanshin line. Then under this line, you can see a lot of like izakaya. And then if you go into those places, usually they are airing a Hanshin Tigers baseball game. So as I've said, Hanshin line is having like a subsidiary of Hanshin Tigers, which is like the baseball team. So yeah, and then Marty also said like this actually like the mountainside is actually known to be a really high-priced land area. So it's like there's like a lot of like luxurious housings. When there's a business flourishing in Osaka, so this area was designed to create a place for those people in wealth, and then that's why those areas were really having like many luxurious houses. So and then compared to that, so this area near this, I don't know, along with this Hanshin line, it's said to be more affordable. Yeah, I would say. Then after that, we came to this place called Enishi, which is like known for its tantan ramen restaurant, and then it's actually having like a great review on the Taberogu, the review site for food. Yeah, they have really good stuff. Actually, I've been here twice so far. Then already had a ramen, so I recommended that to Marty. But Mara tantan without soup, and then Marty ordered tantan with soup. So let's wait. So the inside having a lot of colored in red. The Marty got this tantan with soup, and then this one is comes with rice and yeah. And then the one that I got is Mara tantan, so without soup. Okay, いただきます. This is, you have to mix it together. With it like this. すごい. It's I don't know, it's probably beef, maybe. And then this one is like a takanakana. It's some kind of pickles. Then I think it has also nuts. Yeah, it's a nuts. Oh, looks good. I'm gonna try this tantan without soup. Wow, you can feel a lot of different kinds of spices, and actually they're using like 32 kinds of spices for ramen and tantan. And then, yeah, I love this spiciness. Really goes with the rice actually. Yeah. They're both sugar, so yeah, it's good. How's your tantan?
Yeah, it will be spicy, but I love it. I love spicy food.
So now we are partying. So Marty will go back to Wakayama, where he was actually working before these holidays. So thanks so much. Okay,
Yeah.
have a safe trip and then to meet you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, じゃあまたお疲れです。Okay.
Please let me know how you thought about the video, and if you like it, please share it with your friends and families.